Good evening, folks. HeirofCarthage here, and welcome to another Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer battle. And yes, we've got the Queen of Nipple Armor herself, Morathi, with her Death Hag. Definitely one of my favorite ways to play Dark Elves, which pretty much gonna give away most of my builds to anybody who's watching, but that's okay. I know I'm not on the top of the ladder. So my build here is going to be 2 Executioners, 2 Bleak Swords, Death Hag and Morathi, and both of them have the full range of debuffs. So the Death Hag is going to have this Chill Blade, which is -5 attack. Definitely a very nice debuff. And then with Morathi, we're going to have Heartrender and Dark Sword, which is -9 defense, -9 attack. And then we've got the Enchanting Beauty, which is another 9 attack. So rip your attack. In the back row, I have a Blackguard of Nagaron, a very awesome, very elite polearm unit. Love these guys. The Dark Elves, you know, definitely quite evil and, you know, debaucherous, but definitely have some really cool looking units. We got some Witch Elves here. Witch Elves are fantastic support for a unit like Blackguard or for Dark Shards, because they can berserk expensive units that people send after your Dark Shards. And then I have 2 Cold One Knights, I believe. Yes, I finally got the name right. 2 Cold One Knights, and then there's a Dread Spear on either flank. Let's look at my opponent's army. He's got a very interesting Lizardman army, and I can tell you that I ran into it once earlier today. I did not get the battle saved, but he defeated me with it, and I was curious whether he would bring it again, and indeed he has. He's going to have a huge legion of Pterodon Riders here, of varying sorts, and let's take a look at him. He's going to have a Skink Chief on a Pterodon. He's got the Poha Sentinels, and then 3 units of Pterodon Riders, because the idea here is to come in and overwhelm or busy your skirmishers or artillery, if you've brought any. And then he's got a Croak Death Star. Now this is very different than Death Stars you would have seen with vampires. This is a Croak Death Star, and the way that this build is intended to work is that if you throw a whole bunch of stuff at Croak or the Slan, who you might seemingly think is weak, you're going to get a lot of nasty surprises. One, Croak has a shield that can give, like, you know, a whole bunch of damage resistance. The Slan can do the same thing. He's got Arcane Unforging, Tempest to help control flying units if he comes up against it. The Slan is pretty good, usually at busting up blobs because of a built-in banishment. And then, of course, Croak has some major infantry busting power. And if you look here, we've got some Temple Guards, Star Chamber Guardians, Sara Spears, and then the Legion of Chakwa. This is not a mistake to bring these guys because they look cool or something. Now, these guys provide missile resistance to basically everything around them. And then Croak already has a lot of missile resistance. And you can see Guardian is on there with Croak as well. So, I mean, yes, these guys are going to be tough as nails, okay? Tough as nails. And if you flood all your infantry in to try and overwhelm these guys, guess what? That's exactly what they want, and Croak is going to drop a tactical undead toad nuke all over your infantry, and you will be dead very quickly. Don't underestimate this disgusting mummified toad on a floating throne. You can't do that. He will get you. Because he is an infantry killer. Let's hit play. So I played this guy earlier, and I did not have the right spells. I didn't have the right magic, didn't have the right units. I couldn't beat him. And I think I had tried it with, I can't remember if I tried it with High Elves. I think I tried it with High Elves. And I just didn't have the right stuff. And I had to throw my infantry at him, and I knew I was going to get killed, but it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. So here what you're going to see is I'm going to bring in two Bleak Swords and then the Death Hag and Morathi. It's a little bit risky with Death Hag and Morathi, but I need them up here because look what they do to the melee attack of all the units in this blob. And you can see here he's already using his resistance. But Bleak Swords will actually become very, very capable here, because Morathi and the Death Hag are going to massively debuff the units. Look here, 6 melee attack. Yeah. Meanwhile, my skirmishers have their hands full of Pterodons. If you can put a Pterodon in your hand, which I don't think you can. But you can notice that he's not coming to the ground. He shouldn't here. I've got the Cold One Knights protecting, and my Bleak Swords are over here bleeding that blob dry. I'm killing as many Pterodon Riders as I can, but when you stand still, the Pterodon Riders have other options, as you can see. Very well played. And he's moving around some to keep his guys kind of, you know, in and out of my range. This is smart. I'm causing a lot of damage to his Pterodon Riders, but he will kill my Dark Shards. Probably could have been helpful to have shields, but may have just been an extra investment for nothing. So after getting my 2 bleak swords to kind of soak things up, Morathi and the Death Hag get a little overextended here. I'm going to go ahead and send in 1 Harganeth Executioner. Now again, with all the debuffing that's going on, this Executioner is going to do pretty good. You can see Croak had already dropped that nuke there and nuked the bleak swords. Fortunately for me, he did not get the Executioner. So I must have sent it in on good timing. Morathi is about to rout though. She is in big trouble. I do have Soul Stealer, but my Death Hag is stuck over here too. Despite the fact that I'm debuffing that blob considerably, it's still very powerful. And Morathi isn't going to be doing well fighting Croak and this other mage with all that Guardian and other nonsense going on. I'm going to have to send in some units to help get her out of there. Now, fortunately for me, the Pterodon Riders are busy getting rid of my crossbows, which is both fortunate and unfortunate, right? Yeah, it's kind of both. Anyway, I'm getting decent work done with these Executioners. Not a ton of kills, but you can see that we are wearing down the Croak blob. And we're just going to have to be patient and do this one at a time. Now notice I'm not going to throw that Executioner in right on top of the other one so that Croak can kill them both. I waited till the Bleak Sword was gone, then threw this in. There's going to be even more protection of the old ones here, and I'm going to send in these Cold One Knights to make sure that Morathi and the Death Hag get out. I don't like leaving these guys in here unsupported, but these are Harganeth Executioners. They're going to have to just hold their own. So I send Morathi up close to at least try and give some morale support, but I'm hesitant to throw her right back in. And you can see I'm probably being sniped by the Skink Chief right now too. I mean, that's what I would be doing if I was the Skink Chief. They're going to go for a hit here on the Death Hag. I mean, might as well. These guys are out of ammo. Go for a key target, but I've got my Cold One Knights nearby, and I'm going to quickly get rid of all these Pterodon Riders. Very nicely done here. He tried to drop that banishment on my Blackguard, but I did see it and was able to move away and only taking little damage. So again, I'm keeping my units surrounding him, and I'm just piecemeal sending the units in. You can now see this Executioner is racking up some serious kills and damage. There's going to be more shielding here. And then the other Executioner also racking up some damage. I'm going to have to pull my cavalry back out of that fight, but we managed to push off the Poha Sentinels and the other Pterodon Riders, and I'm holding the Witch Elves in reserve as well. A good unit. Again, I'm just keeping some of my regrouped infantry and spears, everything in reserve. We don't want to overcommit to the fight. I'm kind of lucky that Croak didn't drop a nuke over here, because he probably would have got me. I'm going to use Soul Stealer and heal Morathi. I should get some pretty considerable hit points off of Soul Stealer because of this blob, and it's going to do damage to Croak and the Slan High Mage. So one of my Executioners is getting close to puttering out, but it's managed to get 71 kills and picked up a chevron. The other one has 57 kills. You can see they did a great job wearing down the infantry blob, and that's even without the support of Morathi and the Death Hag. With the support of it, all of these lizards would already been dead. Anyway, the Toad is going to start pushing through, and now that Morathi's healed, I'm going to go ahead and try and get her back into the fight, and I'll start bringing in more reinforcements. Again, I have to piecemeal my reinforcements to defeat the strategy of Croak being able to attack nuke. And look at that, the Slan and Croak just trading back and forth with the shields there. They can give so much resistance. I was about to put the Blackguard in, and it's like, no, you know what? We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. I want to keep, piecemealing in the cheap units. I gotta wear these guys down as much as possible, use as much magic as possible, and play this patient. Dread Spears have decent melee defense. They'll last for a little while in this fight, and they have a little bit of anti-large, against the Slan Mage and against Croak. So just go in here again. This is just going to have to be a patience play, as patient as I can be. Here comes the Dark Queen and her Death Hag. As soon as they get into melee, this is going to debuff all the lizards in the surrounding vicinity very significantly. Yeah, you can see again it's already starting to do its magic. So the Dread Spears will help hold out, putting some charges in from my cavalry. This Executioner picked up 73 kills. You can see a lot of the Lizardmen infantry routing at this point. Still have to be careful though. You can see Croak here, he's going to drop a nuke on my Blackguard. I didn't actually see this one because I didn't react. And it's fairly effective, not super effective. But part of the reason why this build works is because Croak's spells don't damage his own infantry. So you gotta watch out for this. It's a clever build, I like it. It's a different way to play the Lizardmen. You obviously couldn't make this work against every faction or against every type of build, but it had worked on me earlier, and I think he just wanted to try it again because it's clearly something he's having fun with. Some people may say it's just insane cheese. I mean, it's defeatable. It's not like the cheese that I ran into earlier that was 3 black dragons, one of which was Malekith, 4 crossbow cavalry, 2 harpies. Yeah, that's cheese. This is fun. This is a player who's just thought of something that's fun and takes advantage of what Slan and Croak do best. I think it's kind of cool. And it worked on me the first time because I wasn't ready for it. I came in with just 2 artillery pieces thinking, well, I can hold the lizard skirmishing back. It's tough to hold the lizard skirmishing back these days for multiple reasons, but whenever you come up against 3 different pterodon riders, yeah, good luck with that. It's going to be hard to hold the skirmishing back. So, yeah, he got me. Got this. He took out my artillery, and then it was just a matter of time. Like, I just didn't have the units to get him in that one. I mean, maybe if I had brought like a whole bunch of Sisters of Avalorn and Lothern Seaguard, but if I had done that, I mean, I would have had to have known what he was picking. And you don't expect someone to pick something like this every time. And if I bring a build specifically meant for this build, it could leave you weak to a better Lizardman build. So that's why I still brought a relatively balanced build with what I had there that was capable of defeating what he might bring, but also capable of taking on a different style of Lizardman army. So, I mean, I really like this Dark Elf army, though I am curious. You all go in the comments. What do you all like about this Dark Elf army, or what would you change? I'd love to hear your comments. Here's the reason why I like it. It's got a lot of variance in it. I've got cheap infantry for holding cheap infantry, spears for a little bit of anti-large, blackguard for anti-large, a little bit of range. Obviously, it's not going to be good everywhere, but this army kind of has some all-around potential, right? With some anti-large, some armor piercing, some serious debuff, anti-large on Morathi. Because of the way they debuff units, this makes Morathi and the Death Hag extremely good support for executioners or a blackguard. It makes these units extremely tough. And then the Witch Elves, of course, for berserking anything that's trying to go after your Dark Shards or Morathi potentially. So, and then Morathi is a ragdoll. I didn't put her on a mount because you wanted to get ragdolled around. Anyway, I appreciate Sauron. It was a fun battle. I really did enjoy it. I was glad I got to play him twice. I apologize I didn't get the one where he beat me, but you all can see how he beat me. If you didn't bring the right stuff, Croak just nukes you with the spells. It's very straightforward. It's a cool build. It makes use of the new Star Chamber Guardians and the protections of the Legion of Chakwa with their missile resistance. So, again, I think this is a clever way of someone thinking of, hey, what did they give the Lizardmen? What are the different things I can do with it? And this is one example of what you could do with it, among other things. I think it's cool to see the Slan getting used as well. So I thought it was a fun build, definitely. Anyway, appreciate it, Sauron. It was awesome. Thanks for watching the videos, man. I had fun playing against you. It was a really good time. Anyway, I'll be back with more videos soon. Hey, I am trying to get battles up every day. Well, sorry, hold on. First of all, if you enjoyed the video, do me a huge favor. If you liked it, go up and push the like button. It's a very small thing, and it helps me a lot because it gets us in that algorithm, and it helps bring other people to the channel. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and click the bell because YouTube thought you needed a second button to subscribe. But if you do that, you'll be the first to know when there's new content. Again, helps me out a lot. So thank you for being here, and thank you for watching. Schedule. I'm going to be trying to have battles every day. Those battles could be on Warhammer, it could be Three Kingdoms, it could be an older Total War. Go to my Discord. Join the Discord. There are replay areas for Rome 2 and Warhammer 2, and I'm sure if you talk to the mods, we can create it for Three Kingdoms if it hasn't been already. Submit your replays, because I'm going to put my replays up. I'm going to try and do 4 days of the week, my replays, and I want to do 3 days of the week, your replays. So get out there, fight some battles, get involved in the multiplayer, go have some fun. It'll be worth it. Again, thank you for watching. HeirofCarthage signing out, and I can't wait to see you next time with some more Total War Warhammer 2 action.